As we all know, prevention is better than cure, and it is actually way cheaper to prevent something from happening than to cure it, right? I believe we all agree with this, okay? Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 cheapest way to prevent or to stop your catfish from dying, okay? This is a very important topic that I would really need everyone to be focused on, especially those who are just starting their catfish farming business or who just want to start. Okay, so make sure you're watching till the very end, because this is going to save you a whole lot of stress, okay, and a whole lot of money. Now remember, I'm talking about prevention of what? Catfish death or mortality. Okay, preventing your fish from dying. Remember, there's a difference between mortality and cannibalism, okay? And the method you use to prevent cannibalism is different from what you use to prevent what? Mortality. So there are two different things. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, it's Shikemi Olamisi, the farm lady, and you're welcome back to another amazing, interesting, and educative video. If you're coming here for the very first time, make sure you smash on that subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell, and give this video a like, because you're about to learn a whole lot. Alright, so let's get right into it. 5 ways to prevent what? Catfish mortality. And I'm talking about the cheapest, okay? The cheapest. Remember, in the beginning I said prevention is better than cure, and it is actually what? Cheaper to prevent than to cure. So let us dive right into it. Point number 1 is biosecurity. Now, biosecurity, everything you know about biosecurity is actually way more than that. People always feel biosecurity starts and ends with, washing your hands, using your disinfectant, your foot dip, and all that. It is way beyond that. Actually, biosecurity should start from the point when you want to what? Select a site, okay? So, for example, you're somebody who wants to go into catfish farming. You should always have biosecurity as one of the things to put in place before even purchasing your land, okay? And here I'm talking about the structural biosecurity. Now, you can't just buy your land anywhere, okay? You can't just go to, anywhere and just purchase your land and say you want to set up a fish farm. You have to take note of certain factors around. Do you have industries around that release toxic waste into the environment, into, the waterways, right? Especially those who want to go into eating pond, kind of farming, right? So if you're in a place that you have a lot of industries that release their water and channel it into the body of water close to your farm, then you have to be very careful before buying such kind of land, okay? So you have to be careful of where you're buying your land. Do you have, environmental pollution in that place? Because anything can happen at all, and it wouldn't make sense for you to have invested a whole lot of money, and at the end of the day, you're experiencing mortality every single day. So why not get a land in a place that is free and safe from what? Toxic environmental waste. Now, still under biosecurity, there's something we call your farm layout. Farm layout simply talks about how everything on the farmland is being positioned, okay? Where is the farmhouse going to be located? Where are the ponds going to be? Where is the farmhouse septic tank going to be? Okay? Where is the borehole going to be? Where is the storehouse going to be? Now, all this can't just be placed anywhere, right? They have to be strategically placed in order to prevent what? Continuous catfish mortality on your farm, because you might not know, right? It makes no sense that your farmhouse septic tank, which is your sockaway as you all call it, as we all call it, how would your sockaway or septic tank be close to the borehole that serves your fish pond? It's just like you are packing disease, bacteria, and you are dumping it into your pond. It makes no sense at all. Okay, it makes no sense. And that is why I said that this video is important for those who are about to start, make sure you watch it to the very end. Now, it makes no sense. It should be what? A distance away from where your ponds are. It should be a distance away from your borehole, because that is the source of water. But if your borehole is close to the septic tank, seepage can happen at any point in time. And then when you take your water to the lab, you start seeing reoccurring E. coli, different version of bacteria in your water. It's not just coming from nowhere. There is seepage happening underground and you do not know. Okay, now for those who have made this mistake of positioning their borehole close to the septic tank, there are still various solutions that you can adopt, and one of it is what? Putting treatment in place to what? Treat your water at different points. And a good example is using a UV light, right? We have so many others. Okay, now it's always good to what? Have a good layout, and that is why you need an expert whenever you want to what? Set up your farm. Don't just set it up blindly. People are doing catfish farming. Yes, I have the money, because you're just going to be wasting your time, to be honest, and wasting money. Fish will be dying every time. You'll be saying, what is happening? Why are they dying? But you do not know that it's from the water, and the water has already been what? Contaminated with what? Bacteria through seepage, what? From your septic tank or your what? Sockaway, as we all call it. Okay, so that is all about the farm layout, still under biosecurity. So you can see that biosecurity starts right from when you're setting up your farm. Okay, right from when you're what? Setting up your farm. Now, the last part of biosecurity is the operational aspect of it. This is where we talk about, disinfecting, having your hand wash, having your foot dip, right? Washing your fish handling materials once, or having your routine for doing that, disinfecting after your sales and all that. So all these are the ones we are conversant with, right? And it is always good to ensure that whoever is handling your fish knows how to what? Carry these measures out. Okay, so make sure you have a hand wash at the entrance of your fish farm, or your foot dip. Make sure you disinfect your fish farm when needed. Make sure you wash your pond and disinfect it. Disinfect your hand before feeding, so as not to transfer bacteria into the water. So all these are what? Operational based biosecurity measures that you also have to what? Take note of. So as you can see, biosecurity is large, and everything I've said right from the beginning are things that will help you what? To prevent what? Your catfish from dying. And that is why I said that it is important you do what? All this, especially those who are just starting their fish farm. So this video is going to be really helpful to you. Now, remember I said I'm going to be giving you 5 cheap methods to prevent catfish mortality. So we've talked about biosecurity. Now let's move on to point number 2. Now, the second cheapest way to prevent catfish mortality is good feed and feeding. Good feed and feeding. Okay, now there is a difference between a properly fed fish and a malnourished fish. They are not the same at all. You would see it physically. You're going to see it in how they are swimming, how they are moving, how they feed. A properly fed fish is very different from a malnourished fish. Okay, now for those of you who used to feed your fish with anything, you hear one thing this week, you go and buy it to feed your fish. You don't have bearing anywhere belly face. That means anywhere your stomach face, that is where you go. Anything they say, that is what you do. You do not have a mind of your own. You're always jumping from pillar to post and feeding your fish all sorts and manner of things. Please, if you do that, make sure you stop. Stop feeding your fish with anything you see on the internet. It is very wrong, because it is going to affect your fish. It's going to affect their system. You're giving them eba today, tomorrow you're giving them banga soup. I don't understand. Next tomorrow is blood meal alone. Next tomorrow is dead chicken. Next tomorrow, you're just giving them different things at different points in time. It is very wrong. So stop. Giving your fish quality feed is the best way, one of the best ways to prevent them from dying, because you are sure of what you're giving them. Okay, you are sure that, what I'm giving my fish is of what high quality. And in the first place, don't even stock more than what you can manage financially, most importantly. Oh, you want to stock 10,000 fish. Do you have the capacity to feed 10,000? And that is why it is important. I've always been saying it on this channel. Budgeting, budgeting, budgeting is key. Make sure you do your budget before you buy your fish. Know how much you have in cash before you buy your fish, because catfish farming is garbage in, garbage out. What you give them is what they are going to give you back, okay? So you cannot stock 10,000 fish and be expecting to feed them with a feed that will only, be okay for 1,000 fish and expect them to be okay. No, they won't be okay at all. So, in order to ensure your fish has a very strong immune system, ensure you're giving them what quality feed. Because once their immune system is being compromised, anything can happen to them. Small thing, they are dying. Small shaking, they are dying. You understand? So, good feed improves what their immune system, which makes them to withstand what any form of disease and bacteria. Okay, so that is all about good feed and feeding. Now let's move on to point number 3. Point number 3 is good water changing regime. How regular do you change your pond water? We all know that currently in Nigeria, fuel subsidy has been removed, right? We all know that. So this is the point in time that you have to what? Redo your budget. Calculate, okay, can I actually raise 10,000 fish? Bearing in mind the increase in the price of fuel, right? So redo your budget so as to know whether you can accommodate the extra what cost. Because if you're not changing your water regularly, then the health of your fish will be compromised. Okay, will be compromised. They start falling sick because you're leaving your water for 5 days. You're using surface pond like plastic tank. What business do you have leaving your water for 5 days, 4 days, 3 days? Please, if you know that you cannot afford to change your water regularly, please reduce your stock density or raise what you can afford. Other alternative is to what? Install solar pumps. We have submersible solar pumps that you can install. I have seen a lot of videos where people change the carburetor of their gen so as to accommodate the use of gas. Okay, so there are so many alternatives out there that you can use in order to what cut cost on what fueling, so as to ensure you can have a good water changing regime. So whatever you can do in order to ensure that you can ensure this regular water changing, please do it. Because if your water is dirty, your fish will not be okay, they'll be sluggish, their system will be easily compromised, bacteria will easily harm them. You understand? So a whole lot of things will happen to them. In fact, the feed they are eating will not convert properly because the water is dirty. There are some people, when you enter once you get to their street, you are already perceiving the odor of water. It should not be that bad. Fish farming shouldn't be that bad that everywhere is smelling. No, that is not our logo. So don't let it be that people are entering your street and they can say, there's one fish farm here, everywhere is smelling. It shouldn't be that way. The only reason your farm will be smelling from a distance is because you have a poor water changing regime. And when you get to those farms, you will notice that they have high rate of mortality. Okay, so changing your water regularly is one of the cheapest way to stop what or prevent mortality. Okay, because once the fish is dead, you cannot do CPR for it or mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. It's not possible. It is dead. It is dead. The money you used to feed the fish is gone. The fish is gone. Money is going. Okay? So prevent this from happening and you will thank me later. The fourth cheapest way to prevent catfish mortality is to stock the right quantity of fish in your pond. This is not a new topic. I'm always saying it on this channel. In fact, I have a whole video on how to calculate your stocking density. Okay, don't be stingy. If your pond can only take 10 fish, put 10 fish, please. If it can only take 100, put 100. Don't go and put 10,000, please, because you're only going to be doing yourself a disservice by overstocking your pond, right? When you are overstocking your pond, you'll notice that everywhere is choked up, the waste production is on the high, and when the waste production is on the high and the fish are in a confined space, disease, bacteria, everything can spread within the twinkle of an eye. Okay, so ensure you're not overstocking your pond, because overstocking is not going to favor you at the end of the day. So for those who want to watch the video on how to calculate your stocking density, you're going to be seeing that at the end of this video, so make sure you watch it so you don't make that mistake. Okay, now let's move on to the final way and the final cheapest way to prevent catfish mortality. So number 5 is to administer prophylactic or preventive medication. Now it is very good to do this or include this in your routine, because giving your fish prophylactic or preventive medication will ensure what their immune system is stronger, right? It is going to what, boost their immune system to enable them fight against various diseases. It's not until your fish are sick that you start giving them treatment. No, always incorporate what, prophylactic medication into your routine. It could be every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, right? Some people even do it every week. Okay, this is just to prevent the unfortunate things from happening. So giving your fish prophylactic medication, including this in your routine, would what, boost the immune system of your fish. And we have so many types of prophylactic medication. I've always been talking about it on this channel. We have salt, we have bitter leaf, very good prophylactic medication. We have multivitamins that you can also give your fish. Okay, so it's not until your fish are sick that you have to treat them. For example, as human beings, it's not until you are sick. Some of us is until we have malaria, until we are shivering, that is when we go to the hospital. But it is not supposed to be so. You should always do checkup. You should always take, your multivitamins and all that. All this is going to what, boost your immune system, so as to what, prevent you from falling sick. So the same applies to what, to fish. So if you're able to do these 5 things, the first one I said, biosecurity. The second one, good feed and feeding. The third one, good water changing regime. The fourth one, stock the right quantity of fish, that is your stocking density. And the last one is to what, administer prophylactic medication to your fish. So I hope with these few points of mine, you've been able to see the importance of what, preventing to what, curing, right? So prevention is better than what, cure. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section, smash on that subscribe button. For those who are planning to start out their fish farm, who want to raise solely for the purpose of consumption, or want to start it as a business, and you're thinking, oh, how can I get trained? We have a course for you. It's a video course online that you can register for. It is currently selling for 15,000 naira. So you can send a message on WhatsApp and get the course. It's a full course that I was going to explain to you in details. And the good thing about this is that you're also going to be getting what, 1 month free mentorship. That means you're not going to be left alone after the training. I'm still going to be there to guide you every step of the way. Okay, so if you're watching this, make sure you send a message to the WhatsApp number on your screen. Now before we go, I said that I'm going to be showing you a video, which is what, how to calculate your stocking density. So if you want to watch that, click on one of the icons here. You're going to see how to calculate your stocking density. So click on it and watch that video right now.